silence, please. All right, thank you very much. Moving to our agenda, are there any additions or changes to the agenda?
We need to add Tyler Swan for volunteer. And we have to add, activity worker pay discussion. Business item.
And then we'll remove new business item C from the agenda.
What is she?
Any more additions or changes to the agenda? Seeing none, we'll need to approve our agenda.
I move to approve the agenda as modified.
Second?
Motion's been made by Todd, seconded by Kristen. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I do not believe we have any statements for conflict of interest.
All the
this evening.
same.
We'll move on to our consent agenda. Approve these all together or individually, however you choose.
I move to approve the consent agenda altogether. Second.
Motion's been made by Kristen, seconded by,
I have a question this week for you to be done.
oh, okay. Seconded by Katie. Is there any discussion, Todd?
Just curious, what are the scheduling services we hired?
Oh, just the tour, he just did it forever. He schedules our reps for us.
Okay,
He'll do it for JV football, he'll probably do it for the boys JV basketball season.
okay,
He did that last year too, it's actually really
yes,
helpful.
he's in the loop and
Yes.
that's the first time I remember ever seeing
I
it, so I
think
was like,
that I worded
I
it
see pink.
more professional.
okay. Nope, that was my only question.
Baba has tattoos.
Is there any other discussion on the consent agenda? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Moving to our reports, we'll start with the business manager.
I survived volleyball season, now it's back to the daily grind of business manager, and auditor comes next week. So, back to full-fledged doing that. I feel I'm in a much better position this year for the auditor to come, and hopefully it'll go really well. But not much, it's kind of a slow time right now, so till the auditor comes. I feel like, I guess one thing, was it helpful to send some emails with more explanations to things, or, so I will try to do better about that, to just include some things ahead of time, so you know what's going on.
Yeah, thank you. Is there any questions? All right, moving to our activities director, Mr. Santiago.
Fall sports just got done. We have our winter sports meeting next Tuesday at 6 o'clock in the middle school gym. school girls basketball has started too, so they're a couple weeks in. But that's all we got going on so far.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions? All right. Moving to our K-8 principal, Mr. Clark.
We did our testing sweep to progress monitor our
That's my
K-5
job.
students, and from those results, students were grouped based on their academic needs. We kind of did our 6-week testing and moved forward from there. Switched groups up a little bit.
in your hair?
The elementary is getting ready to start the CNA, the Comprehensive Needs Assessment process. We've chosen a team and are working together on that. And our shining star for the elementary for the month of November that was chosen by the students were our 2nd grade teacher, Mrs. Erickson, and our very own Mr. Santiago. And they've both been a great addition to our community.
Thank you very much. Any questions? All right, moving to our high school principal and superintendent.
Okay, first with the Special Education Board report, provided intensive CPI training to designated staff members. This involves the restraint portion of CPI. Progress monitoring training for all elementary staff and in-service last Friday. And provided training on the new teacher assistant manual for the elementary staff. Then alternative curriculum is now being implemented for students who qualify for the alternative track. On the superintendent, high school principal side, went to the Newell Economic Development Corporation meeting. I'm a board member, and I recommend Todd Youngberg as our representative for the school district. Working on the clean diesel grant, I'm looking at surplusing our 35 passenger bus that we have here, and I'm waiting on a quote for North Central Bus Services out of St. Paul, Minnesota. I've had very good relations with working with them, and they do, what is that word? Competitive bidding. Can't think of what it is right now, I just drew a blank. The district report card is attached to the website. You can go in and break down our schools. My star secondary staff member is Mr. Santiago and Mrs. Bickbaum. So, Mr. Santiago did a clean sweep. And my shining star was Mrs. Karen Wallace. Only one board member has done their DISC assessment, and we'd really like it if you participated in this as we work together on our professional development and understand who our personalities are. It'd be great if you participated in that. And a thank you out to the Olivers, as well as Brian and Katie Fox. They both entities have donated a beef to the school. It will be headed to the wall pack pretty soon, so that we can have beef for our school lunch. So thank you very much to them. Any questions?
Can you send me a couple more of them discs? I need one for each of you.
Resend email.
Yes, I don't know where that one is.
It's super fast.
Well, we know who took it.
I heard.
Yeah. Any questions? All right, thank you.
All right, is there anything for information we're discussing this evening? Seeing none, we will move to open forum.
Procurement.
There's nothing for open forum.
Procurement.
So we will move on to old business. We have old business item A, second reading of policy IKFA, graduation ceremony.
on these come up in the last month?
Any further thoughts on it? All right, seeing none, we'll move to old business item B, second reading of policy ABAD, parent rights. Any thoughts, questions, concerns? Move on to old business item C then, second reading of policy FC, facilities capitalization program. Alright, well, that will pretty well wrap up our old business then for second readings on those. And we'll move into our new business, starting with new business item A, 2026 ASBSD legislative standings.
Go ahead.
So I will be attending the South Dakota Legislative Delegate Session on the 2014th. Yep. The 21st. The majority of the issues that are going to be voted on are going to be in response to the possibility of a change in funding because of all of the issues surrounding property taxes. So there's a lot of stuff associated with that. Some of them are minor changes just in verbiage. Some of them is adding a whole paragraph to address that the schools will still receive the appropriate funding if that changes because of all the South Dakota legislative stuff that's coming up. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I thought you said no. Let's see, there's a couple of other ones too. One of them, it was a standing associated with, because recently South Dakota law changed the, what's the word I'm thinking of, Candy, the age that students have to come, compulsory school attendance age was changed from 18 to 17. So the verbiage in, that they are changing is, that their standing is that they would prefer students to go to school until they're 18 or until they turn 18. So that will be a topic of vote. So I believe our standing would be to agree with anything that would ensure that the school continues to receive the appropriate funding. Yes.
If there's anything in there about regionalization or formulas, I would highly recommend that no, and more emphatically, no.
Okay, there's nothing that specifies those terms. However, that would be, I think the way that they would, that's like at state level.
Yeah, that's rolled into the transaction tax proposal, that's rolled into the municipal rate proposal where they're pulling all school funding from property tax rate. I'm reading into it more than maybe I get other information from other sources that are trying to take our funding, so.
There's another one here, that might be, I don't know how it will be perceived. Suspension of teacher pay accountabilities, providing the possibility of a waiver to adjust teachers' pay if schools are not receiving the appropriate funding. That would be like a per school have to do that. It just provides the opportunity for schools to request a waiver to adjust the teacher funding if the schools don't have the appropriate funding.
Sounds like pretty slippery slope.
Yes.
That doesn't sound good at all.
No, well, that's not the state's legislation, it'd be the Associated School Boards, like,
Yeah.
fighting for that.
Yeah.
That's not to say that we would have to
Yeah,
utilize that.
No.
It's just something I
Yeah.
wanted to mention because it is on here.
and basically this is what they're going to take to peer. You're voting on their lobbyists, so.
Yes.
Seems like that would just set you up for a lawsuit,
Sure.
holding wages or changing wages in bid contracts.
Right.
No, it would be at the time of negotiation.
So we're, but yeah, we have to, don't we still have to pay them whatever that,
Now,
yes.
Right now we do. So what this would be saying is, here, do you wanna read it?
well, I can look first.
Okay. Probably will happen, but based off of some of the way that the funding is going to be associated at the federal level, may or may not benefit us. TBD on how that looks.
Have fun.
Was there any other ones that are, yeah. So, nothing in here jumped out at me as, out of line, I suppose.
There wasn't as many recommended changes as there's been in the past.
Yeah. So, any questions?
Did you have any other thoughts, Dr. Quimby?
No, it's a lot about funding and where we're gonna get the money.
Mhm.
If there's anything in there about them advertising anything, would be great, because I don't have to try very hard to find the people who want to remove property taxes from whichever entity it is advertising. I mean, just if you're there and somebody's talking, throw it out there that some hillbilly from home said you guys ought to get on the internet and on TV.
Mhm. Okay. I think that covers that.
Thank you very much. Moving to new business item B.
I think so.
New business item B, approved DOE administrative waiver.
Mrs. Reedy took a temporary certificate the last year that she taught art in Newell. Therefore, she can't get a temporary right now. She needs to fully take the classes, which she's participating in now to regain her certificate. And it's gonna take a little more time than this year, so this waiver is a one-year waiver for our classes this year.
Is this, do we have to make a motion? I make a motion to approve, the Department of Education administrative waiver.
Second.
Motion's been made by Kristen, and seconded by Dawn. Is there any discussion?
Yes, now I lost it. I lost what my question was.
This will keep it like an accredited class. I would
Mhm.
assume.
Yeah.
That's why we need to do it.
Oh, I know what it was. This doesn't grant the waiver, correct? This just authorizes the waiver to be sent up for approval or denial?
Well, we have to have approval by the local school school board on the matter,
And then it goes up.
but once I get the board minutes approved next month, then I attach them to this and send them to the state.
Really shouldn't be an issue since she was an accredited certified
She is,
teacher
yep.
for decades. or whatever.
Well, and there's a certain pattern to that, like when you come off your 5-year, if you don't renew your 5-year.
You get a,
can only, yeah, you can
you get
only do a temporary for like 1 year.
and she's already used it.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Moving to new business, item D, approve administrative recommendation for personnel. New hire of Kurt Nyhaus for assistant boys basketball coach, and volunteers Jessica Bender, Charlie Bachman, and Tyler Swan.
I move to approve the administrative recommendations as stated.
Motion's been made by Kristen, and seconded by Katie. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Moving to new business item E, activity worker pay.
I move to discuss and make the appropriate action for activity worker pay.
Motion's been made by Kristen, seconded by Katie. Is there any discussion?
I just wonder if this wouldn't be better. I'm assuming time is of the essence, but maybe this would be better referred to the budget committee to go through. There are many schedules on that for pay that some we dictate, others we do not. I also feel, and Amy may have already done all the research, but to be competitive with other schools, when we need officiating crews, especially for middle school, our wage would need to be competitive or we won't have any.
So those, the official wages are pretty much standard. So all we really need, like those are like Justo or whatever, like they find their officials and then only work for whatever. It's like that's their rate of pay.
Does he do middle school too?
He
does middle school
middle
too.
school.
Okay.
So we find our own middle school volleyball refs and they're usually local. So this has, yes, time is of the essence because these people that have filled out vouchers for the last 3 months not paid. This, they generally used to be paid accounts payable. If they are not school employees, they can be accounts payable. The school employees is gonna be added to their paycheck and I'm gonna do payroll this week. So I just need to know their rate. All of last year, I picked whatever rate was previously in the folders I could find. I just wanted it officially approved, someone comes to me and says, what rate are we paying? It's not just my choice, it's the board's choice. So the big question is, do we pay hourly? Do we pay a flat rate? I have, these are ideas from all the other schools, big schools pay. A lot of them will pay the $15 a game. Sometimes that means you make $9. So here's the issue with paying. Let's say we pay $15 for a flat rate and it takes 2 hours. And I have a classified staff came in. I then still have to adjust their pay to make sure they're getting minimum wage. So if you came, the wages are classified. So let's say our kitchen worker wants to come line judge. say it's $15 per game, so that game took 2 hours, that's only $7.50. I still legally have to then pay up to minimum wage. So if we just say we're paying minimum wage to start with, that just takes care of that.
So why are we paying some people as like 1099 contractors and some as employees?
So if you're already an employee, you're paid as an employee.
But why?
Because that's the law, that's what I've been told. If you're an employee, you can't have it both ways. You can't be an employee for one thing and be a 1099 for something else. So if you're in my system as an employee, you're an employee. I was told last year, part of the reason we don't make all the workers employees is because then it's the background checks and it's a lot to make them become an employee. Some schools do that. Some schools say you can't even line judge or take books without being an employee. Like that would be something we could discuss for next year, I guess. I know in the past, and I have found out through this business manager discussion, a lot of people weren't doing it right and were paying 1099s to current employees, but that is not appropriate. Like if you are a school employee, you have to be paid. You have to have taxes out. You cannot get a 1099 for one service and taxed out for one thing. Like that's not an option to them.
And there's like no separate category where you can't just pay a flat rate.
You can.
Reimbursement.
Yeah, like,
You
yeah,
can.
like
Minimum
you,
wage.
yeah, versus, yeah.
I could play, that's what they did last year, is a flat rate, but what I'm saying is if we have a person who's an hourly employee here, they still have to clock in and out, because I have to make sure that they're getting minimum wage.
So like.
So if I say you're getting $30 an hour, or you're getting $15 for one match, and that took 2 hours, you only got $7.50 really. You still have to clock in, and I still then have to adjust your pay and pay you more.
I get that part, but I'm just like, it just seems odd to me that you can't say, like, what Katie, like, you get $50, like, it's not an hourly fee, I just don't see that you, why. In
So
my
we-
mind, it's like, I don't see why you have to pay an hourly fee when you can just say, games are $50,
So
end of
if we
story.
do that, then we would probably just, and some schools do this, that no classified staff can work it, but several of these workers are classified staff, so then you turn them away. Or it's more work on my end, cause then I still have to take, so this is what I did this year, I just got a voucher, time in, time out. So I have to verify that that week they didn't do overtime or that they got, so if I just did a time in, time out, and it was $30, I'd have to divide out and see what that rate was, and make
Yeah.
sure it was proper. So it's just more work to have that flat rate.
So, why is it different? I mean,
For
can't you,
classified?
well, no, wouldn't they just fall into a different wage rate? You know, I mean, we've got steps of, I mean, that's the whole certified staff, but, I mean, you already have classified staff that have two different wages already. And this is a set wage, I mean, so the state is telling you no matter what, you have to come up with this?
Minimum wage.
This is minimum wage, yes,
Yeah,
so,
but this is outside of that, this
So
is a
you-
salary.
yes, that is, I
So I
don't
mean,
know
this
the
would be a
exact,
different classification is what I'm wondering, I mean,
but if you're paying them anything and they're classified staff, you have to make sure they're at least making.
But how does that work, like, say, a coach? I mean, they
Like,
put
you
in
have-
more than,
They get paid, like, they have to keep track of hours too, that's why a lot of schools won't hire a classified staff to coach or do any of this, it's a lot of work.
With certified staff, you don't have any
Certified, you don't
issue
have to,
with
it's only
coaching and
classified.
whatnot, just with classified, because we ran into that issue before. I don't recall how we.
so when it comes to, anyone else, who's not an employee here whatsoever until they coach, then it's just a wage.
They get a 1090, it is just a flat rate, even if you did $11.50 an hour, I'd multiply by 10, it's $110.50.
Okay, so then that's where
They
they get
just don't
the
get
tax.
taxes out.
Got it.
Theoretically, what they do beyond that is their choice, theoretically, they should be claiming it, but that's their choice.
And this is what the Department of Labor is telling me.
I didn't go to the Department of Labor, the whole minimum wage is, yes, I don't know which codified law. The rest of this just came from seasoned business managers who. have
So
had
your
this-
recommendation is that we just bump it up to minimum wage, so that you don't have to try and sort out?
I think it'd be easier to pay everybody.
Do you know, like, hour-wise, like, what more that will cost us, by chance?
Like, I took a couple here. It's all gonna depend on if the games go quicker. Like, I just
Right.
looked at a couple of it's like maybe $20 difference. Like, it's probably gonna be about a wash. Like, if they did one game, okay, like, let's say Ulrich's, $30 for that game, it took an hour, they're gonna get $30. Dupree took 3 hours, they would've got $10 an hour at the flat rate, but then they would've got more at the hourly rate. I just think it stays consistent and fair. In the email I sent you, the West River Tournament, when we run that jointly with like Hot Springs, we did the same thing. We did $11.50, show, that way it's fair, it's for every worker, and then the other team split the losses with that.
I mean, looking at everything you presented here, like your line judges for middle school volleyball, high school volleyball, line judges, an official book clock, and libero tracker, and then your shot clock, and book for high school basketball. Them are probably the only 4 that it would really affect. I mean, looking at it, and the only reason I say that is because at $15 a game, if that game takes over an hour, they're dancing below minimum wage. But the rest of them, you know, so like the high school football chain game, 35 per game, you know, that game would have to take 3 hours before that would, and that 35 a game would be the next lowest. So I mean, really, it's only affecting those handful of positions more or less, or, well,
I think the
workers.
biggest variance is in volleyball, because it can last an hour, or.
Yeah, yeah,
With 3.
yeah,
Basketball's gonna be pretty much the same.
pretty standard, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm okay, like, with what Todd was saying, making sure that we are being competitive and ensuring that we are showing that we value the people who are taking time out of their day.
Most schools, the thing about being competitive, Sioux City pays $50 a game, Bellevue pays nothing. I mean, it's very
Well, yes,
competitive around
competitive
here.
for our-
Competitive around here is
Yeah.
gonna be minimum wage is about what they get. And we could, and that's why I said minimum plus 50 cents, so at least we give you $12.
Well,
I mean, I
guess-
don't have even if we picked a higher wage,
Yeah, what I'm
$12,
saying
I
is,
don't care.
we don't really have the pool of people that are as interested, as some of like Bell does so showing the people who are committed to coming and taking time out of their day, I think would be a valuable tool in our toolbox to ensure that they continue to want to come and take time out of their day.
Which is, like I said, I'm up to, if you wanna do I wouldn't go too high because we still have a budget to follow
Sure.
to them.
Yeah.
And the thing is, some of these people didn't even know they were getting paid and they stepped in. So, I know in the past, we couldn't get workers, and there was a few times, I think it was, are we gonna have enough, but every game was covered.
So
And
now,
we can do, if you wanna do like chain gangs, 35, like we could, it doesn't have to all be hourly either, it could be all the table workers are hourly and the chain gangs 35 per game.
what if, I'm going through the what ifs, sorry. What if one of our classified staff happened to be a varsity certified referee? That puts us in a conundrum.
Well, we can't hire them.
Why?
Would be conflict of interest.
It would be, okay. Well, that's an easy solution then.
I would assume that would be the.
Yeah.
With the shortage of referees, I could see that being
I know.
waived rather.
Like as a football coach, if I showed up to a varsity game and their superintendent was reffing the game, I'd be a little bit.
To my knowledge, no one's here to certify.
No, no one. But the day may come.
The day would come, we would have that discussion and
Okay.
ask them to do something else, I suppose.
me, it makes more sense to just, it's like a one for all and all for one, like, not to have the chain gang be $35, but the line rep be a minimum wage, like, that seems like.
Which, and like last year, they were kind of, that's again why I thought the hourly would be easier. It's $15 per game for this, but it's
That's what I mean.
it's
It
35 per
seems
game for this, and then
complicated.
every once in a while the C got canceled, and I mean, even if we did $12.50, we could do more than $11.50 to be more competitive. The only thing is, if they work West River tournament, it's gonna be back to minimum wage, and they just have to know that ahead of time.
Because it gets split with the other schools and merit.
Which it's probably always been, so those people already know that, but. And that actually is how last year I came up with this, cause they were making as much or more splitting it by the hour than the games, so it was easier to track.
Is there any way that we could pay the people we need to pay and then send this to the budget committee to normalize going forward?
Well, there's a lot that need paid like now.
Yeah, I realize that, and I
Yeah.
realize people are waiting
And we can
for it.
amend, I mean, we can approve
But I
it tonight
think
and,
this deserves more time
yeah, it's never, I've never,
here.
there was never anything like this when I got here last year, it was
Yeah.
all just pulled out.
They've been paid like this for,
Yeah.
I don't know how long, it's whatever.
Like today you get paid this, next year you get paid.
So you have it set up hourly and then split, like 1099 versus employee. Okay.
So, on that note, maybe we could modify the motion to state that we would approve this payment plan for this quarter for the fall sports, but it is not fully ratified until further review by, yeah, that way it takes care of it, it's a one-time deal, we get it slid through, but yet we still spend time sorting it out.
So, that's fine, what rate do we want to pay?
As presented.
$12?
Isn't that what
I
your
mean, we can
motion
change,
was?
it's, well, she said motion to
Of the discussion.
have the
I'll have the
discussion.
discussion.
And
So when you say like on volleyball, when it says 15 per game, is that per set?
That's, so like C Squad JV varsity, that's how it was last year. So that's the 20,
So it'd be 45.
45
all three.
for all three.
yeah.
So if that changed to hourly, it would probably.
So like, one of them, she was here 5 hours, one was 4.25, so like I said, it's kind of,
It's still probably like $55 probably, cause I mean, you're probably there for 5 hours.
Well, that's what I was just.
At least. So it probably comes out to a little more than $2 a game.
I don't think our chain gang's gonna complain. You know, unfortunately, and we've had a run of football where a lot of our games don't last a full hour, but I don't think that I'll have to run them the chains for the $35.
Right.
Irregardless, I don't think, no matter how we approach the way we go about this, I don't think we wanna go backwards.
so the chain gang,
That's exactly where I'm thinking,
Yeah.
is, I mean, so,
so here's what the chain gangs played for 3.5 hours at the game, times 12 is $42, so still more than the 35 they got last year. The hourly is gonna benefit people, I don't know the pushback of why they want a flat rate, it sounds better to get 35 instead of $12 an hour.
so we're on, what I think, at least what I'm thinking, I think this is where Tyrell was going too, is if we have a football game that ends halfway through the second quarter where we've done 37 minutes or less, it's a 11 or $12 an hour or a $35 minimum. And that's where I'm saying,
Yeah.
we need to approve a one-time deal to get the checks out the door and then discuss those nuances to actually have a plan.
Yeah.
do I have to make the motion?
Well, we're discussing, I'm running up, we can discuss it. wage to get the waiting checks out the door, and then have further discussion on this rate schedule with the budget committee for future passing.
Second.
Amendment's been made by Todd. Seconded by Katie. Seconded by Katie. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Amendment carries. Back to the main motion as amended. Is there any further discussion on that? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right. The board will now entertain a motion to go into executive session.
I move to go into executive session, STCL 1-25-21.
Second.
Motion been made by Kristen, seconded by Katie. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The board will enter